You are now live. Do you know anybody who is stuck? That is the theme of today's program, people who are stuck. Because ultimately, all the people who are homeless out on the streets, they're not there because they want to be there. That was a good point that our previous guest brought up last couple weeks ago, Samuel Grenny. We have yet to find a homeless person who is really there because they want to be there. So we're examining this issue of stuckness and how and why people get stuck. That's going to be our main program. This is the Utah Stories pre-show. Thanks for joining me. So on this pre-show, what we do is we go over the things that we don't really have time to go over in the show. It's mostly our updates. It's mostly what's going on with our investigation into the is there a homeless serial killer on the loose? We're examining that because so many homeless people have claimed that there is one, and the police have yet to confirm or deny if there's a lot of bodies showing up in the Jordan River unaccounted for. What we do know is that there is a cold case file with well over 400 entries and a lot of missing persons cases that are cold cases. And we've talked to more homeless people about these. We're going to give you a little bit of an update on that. Our main show exists on YouTube, but we do the beginning of the show here on Instagram. So for those of you who are with us on Instagram, this show is recorded live, and we'd love to hear from you. Take your comments, your questions, what you know about what we're talking about. If you know people who are homeless on the streets, or you are one, or you risk being homeless, I think this is a really good episode for you to watch. Or if you're just concerned with the homeless and housing situation in Utah, it's another great episode to check out. We're going to have on the show a little later on today New York Times photographer, photojournalist Robin Pendergrast. He's been on the show before with us, and he's going to talk about updates on what's going on with the abatement policy of Salt Lake City, the bulldozing of the homeless people, and what he's witnessed recently in terms of things that are going on with demonstrations, food drops for homeless, how you can get involved. Robin has become a real activist in the homeless community. And then we're going to talk about accountability, because what I've done in this program, our format is we go out and talk to homeless people, and then we try to take their concerns and their problems, why it is they're stuck, and take those problems to the leaders and advocates who are supposed to be solving those problems and say, hey, this person is stuck because they can't get an ID. What is it they could do to get an ID without any documentation whatsoever? So we've been trying to do that, but a lot of the leaders don't want to come on this program, which I kind of find amazing, because this is the population, this is the community that is so vulnerable, at risk, that's growing so quickly. It's obvious our services don't have the capacity to be dealing with this many people, and that some of these people don't want to come and answer the homeless population's questions, problems, and concerns. I just find that really telling of why this problem is not getting solved, why we are seeing more and more homeless people on the streets, why we are seeing more seniors priced out of the housing market who are now homeless. Single parent mothers have been priced out of the housing market. They're now homeless. And I just find it appalling that these people who are at the tops of some of these organizations don't want to come on and be held accountable to the people and the population that they are supposed to serve. So it's not all of them. Next week on the program, I'm really happy to announce we're having the executive leader of my phone is wigging out here. We're having the executive director of Crossroads Urban Center on the program. He's coming on to answer these questions, but I would like to have more of them on, and I'd like to have them join us on the program. So if you've got any questions, concerns, join us on the program. We're going to start up in about 20 minutes on YouTube. It's our Utah Stories YouTube channel. I'm going to say goodbye to our Instagram folks for now. But if you have questions, comments, concerns, please go over there and chime in. We'd love to hear from you. Thanks for watching. And with those of you who are still with us on YouTube, I wanted to go into also our attempts to follow the money with homeless and services. We got into that subject in greater detail when we started examining this Magnolia project, the Magnolia Apartments, and the whole housing first situation. And so what we've done is we've taken every public housing project, we've tried to put a price tag on it. We've tried to put a cost per dwelling unit and a cost per upkeep per tenant. And we found that incredibly challenging to do because we're just running into roadblocks concerning the records that they keep, as well as a number of staff and how much they pay the staff. And there's a website called opensecrets.org where you can go on and you can get any employee who's employed by the state. You can get how much they're earning and how much their compensation is. We found that very difficult with the homeless and housing people. We're still trying to follow the money and figure out, okay, is it true that we are spending? This is what was substantiated by Scott Howell, who came on the program in a Deseret News article, which was that we're spending somewhere around $300 million per year on homeless people. And if you count all of the philanthropic organizations, it's actually closer to $500 million. And if that is true, and we have 6,000 to 7,000 homeless people on the streets, then we're spending about 40 to 50, up to $55,000 per individual who is on the streets right now. And I find that absolutely appalling, because obviously you could put these people into a housing situation if you just gave them that money. If you gave a person $50,000 a year, there's no question you could find a landlord who could rent these people a property and get them housed. And so on this program today, which we're going to start in about 10 minutes, we go into how and why housing is really not the primary function and problem with most of these people. Housing is actually, it's a big problem, of course, but their mental problems, their problems with felony convictions, their problems with drug abuse actually exceed the problems of just not having housing. And I think this big umbrella term we use of homelessness is doing somewhat of a disservice to these people, because that is not their primary problem. So with that, we will start up here right around 4:30. Hope to see you on the program, and hope you come and chime in and give us your questions. Thanks for watching.